What important part of leadership isn't being touched, isn't being addressed? What are you putting off because it's good enough, or you just don't have time to do that right now? Or if you have time, you don't have the energy. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD podcast, very fun episode, a hard episode. We have to think beyond our current situation. We need to be bigger than where we are right now. I'm going to talk about the framework, the strategies that we need to utilize as CEOs of our practice to make better decisions. Got the closing thought of the episode. This is the Ultimate OD Podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. Thank you for the likes, the listens, all my people that are just making their practices better, that are trying to be better leaders, better owners, better CEOs of your practices. And we have another episode that's focusing on us being the CEO of our practices. And this is a two-parter, two consecutive episodes, two different, completely different things, but it's kind of what you've gathered as I talk about this stuff, where I'm at in my mindset, how I'm trying to get better, what I'm trying to work on. So by creating the podcast for the topic, I get better at the topic myself. So like you, I'm always trying to improve, and let's go at it. So I was talking to a group of doctors, and what I hear from other doctors when they're completely vulnerable, completely open about and honest about where they're at. They'll talk about, feeling burned out, wanting to change, struggling to get staff engaged. They hold on to certain parts of their roles and they feel uncertain about their next move. That's me, right? I've had those thoughts throughout my time. But there's a contradiction here, right? When given solutions to their problems, it's usually countered with something like, they're unhappy with the total experience, but there's a small part that they still like and they're holding on to. And they'll use that to justify staying where they're at. Like someone that's burned out seeing patients, but I still want to see these patients. I've said that. Like I don't want to see kids, I'll see adults. Or I want my practice grow, but I don't want anyone else to make the decisions. I want to be better, but I like how we do things in optical because we are really good at selling, pair 50 sunglass frames, right? Or if I switch this, I might lose that. But you just told me you wanted your optical to be better, that you wanted more time to work on the business. My team needs more ownership, but I keep taking everything back from them. I don't give them the ability to grow. These are the contradictions that I hear that I've said to myself. I want this to happen, but I don't want to change. And what I realized was you can't evaluate your role, the optical, how you're going to grow by looking at the best hour of the day, best hour of the week. You need to take a step back and look at the whole week. You had a really bad week, but you have one or two good moments, and you're like, that's what I'm going to hold on to. It's weird because we focus a lot on the bad patient, the whiny patient, or whatnot, but when you're offered solutions, but they would change this. Hey, we have a lot of people coming back for it. I don't know if I want to change. And that's what happens. We as participants in this journey see our piece, see where we're at. When you're working inside the business, it's hard to read the label when you're inside the ketchup bottle. Okay? As a doctor, I see today's schedule, the difficult patient, the employee who made the mistake, revenue that we made for the day, or the clinical work that lit me up. I loved working with these patients. But when you're looking as the CEO of the business, of the enterprise, you have to look at the entire week, the entire team. What's the patient experience like? Are you profitable? Are you at capacity? What opportunity are you missing out on because you're going this way? What's your long-term direction? As a participant in the mix, when you're looking at the trees, you often think, how does this affect me? Well, as the CEO of the practice, we have to think what produces the best total outcome. Man, I'm dealing with that right now. Like, what is going to give you the best outcome? When you look at the moment, you might be mad at the staff member. They can't get away with this. But there's an easy way out. You just want to be vindictive. You want your blood. A patient that has bought from you for years, but they missed their pre-appointment. You're like, well, don't give them contact lenses if they call back. Well, that's kind of his MO, but he's bought like a year's supply for 10 years straight. Are you really going to be that vindictive? Conversation I had with myself this week, right? And what is hard, because we're the owners, is that personal preference isn't a decision, it's data. Okay? What we enjoy does matter. Energy matters, frustration matters, but none of those are the only data point. I enjoy doing comprehensive exams, right? But that doesn't automatically mean that's where I should spend the most time. As I've learned, I'm pretty good at managing the staff, managing the other doctors, getting them to be better. Yes, I enjoy being in the exam room, but what's the best for the office? Best for the long-term vision of where we want. Doctors, I talk to you all the time, don't like managing staff, right? Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can ignore it. You have to realize that that's the beauty of what we have. You get to make these decisions, but if you're making decisions based solely on personal preference, you're not being the CEO. You're not thinking big enough picture. And what you enjoy is important, but it's not the answer. Okay? That's something that I really had to realize is what makes me happy, what gives me energy, but what moves the business furthest, the fastest, in the best long-term way. And I'll tell you right now, it's me getting out of the exam room. I'm finding right now I can get doctors to perform at a level at or better than me. Period. Like, I am not that special. Given the right environment, they can do the same thing, but they can't manage the staff. They can't get us to where we need to go. Yeah. But I like doing that, right? But do you want to be the CEO or do you want to be an owner? And that's where we, as we grow in our identities, we realize that that was a great season and it gave us a bunch of tools that help us manage the doctors, manage the staff. But we got to see the whole board. If you're playing chess, you don't just look at the pawns, you don't just look at the king and the queen. You look at the whole board. Where there's opportunities for moves, how do you set yourself up for the best outcome to win the game? So when you're doing that, when you're looking at the whole board, there's 6 things that I think we all have to take a step back at and look at. Number 1, results. What is your current model producing? You got to look at revenue, profitability, patient outcomes, team performance, access to care, quality of your product. Okay? Results, they matter. Energy. What gives you energy? What gives your team energy? What drains you? What drains the team? You can't just do it from one really good day or one really bad day. Look at the entire week. Look at the month. Look at the past year. When do you have the most issues? When is your team the most excited? Capacity. That's a really hard one because what really, truly requires you to be there to be successful? I'm telling you right now, patient care is the thing that I fight with the most. I like it in the extent that I like it when I produce. When I have a good day, it gives me joy. But when I think about waking up for my week, I like getting to Wednesday afternoon when I'm done seeing patients and I can work on the things that matter. Hear what I just said? The things that matter. But I won't let myself fully remove myself yet, right? Because I'm still holding on. I'll always have that skill. But what really, truly requires you? What could you train another person to do? And then where are you the only person that can create value. Look at your team, evaluate that. Look at where you want to go. Capacity matters. Opportunity cost. Okay, number 4. What are you unable to build because your calendar is already full? I think about that all the time. The things I would work on if I had more time. Our optical is really starting to take off this year because I've had time to help train the opticians to talk about things a little more in depth. It's having a consistent meeting every single week, but they're hitting numbers they haven't hit before. What important part of leadership isn't being touched, isn't being addressed? What are you putting off because it's good enough, or you just don't have time to do that right now? Or if you have time, you don't have the energy. I would get to my Fridays when I was seeing like 85 comps a week, literally 85. It's dumb to think about right now, right? But I get to that Friday and I'd only work like 3 hours on Friday and be like, all right, Friday afternoon, time to get after it. And I'd be exhausted. And know what I didn't want to do on Saturday? That. Sunday night, I'd talk myself in there and I'd give myself like an hour and a half, 3 hours max. And then I'd do it all over again and I'd have, I'm putting so little effort in to the thing that matters most. All right. Scalability. This is an interesting one. Does the current model become stronger as the organization grows, or does it become weaker as it gets bigger? Like this works now because we're so small, but when we get bigger, we have to address that. Do you have systems in place that make everyone more capable that aren't dependent on a specific person? You remove the bottlenecks. Or does every additional person that you add, location that you're going to add, does that create more dependence on you? Not a good place to be if you want to scale. And the last thing to think about is alignment. Does this move get the organization, get the company closer to where you want to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years down the road? Or is it a completely off path? A decision you make can be incredibly profitable today, but still be the wrong move for where you're trying to go. And that's really hard to fathom. And I think that's what held me back so much in the past was I looked at the instant profitability that I was getting. I'm like, well, I'm making money. People are happy. Schedule's full. Let's just keep doing that. And I didn't grow. Took a step back, added a doctor, added a second doctor. We're hitting numbers we've never hit before. The new doctor is doing on probably hoping one of his worst days what I would work my butt off to do on my best. Isn't that nuts to think about? And I like using this story of myself to illustrate where I'm at and how I'm doing this. I know deep down in 3 years, end of 2028, so that's 2 years, I shouldn't be in clinic. Right? I should have other doctors that are doing amazing patient care, and I should be managing that plus another 1 to 2 locations. Absolutely know it. But here's the rub. I still enjoy comprehensive exams. I have long-standing patient relationships. My identity has always been Dr. Lilly. Like, he's the guy, he'll take care of you. Right? There's certain parts of clinical care that I absolutely love. I love dry eye, ocular surface disease. But to do that at a high level, to do it the way I know how to do it and do it well, it drains me from everything else. It's really hard to do that at that high of level. But I have other doctors that can do it. Not doctors, right? We're getting there because I'm helping create that environment. I'm training the new doctor to get there. That's something that I didn't realize I would enjoy so much. And that's what I've discovered, right? I love reviewing cases with the other doctor. I could go for hours. Just here's this case. What would you do? This is what I did. Grand rounds with all the doctors together. This is the case. This is what I did. What would you guys have done? That's fun for me. Making my associates do things sooner or have opportunities to grow, speak for companies or give lectures. I love doing that. My manager that has been with me for about a decade, really having impact. Being able to talk to other managers across the country and give them advice. When a year and a half ago, she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's really stinking cool. The systems that we've developed that aren't dependent on a person, where people in my office that were not the most capable are now taking leadership and running with it because we gave them the tools they need to succeed. Just thinking about where we're going to go in 3 years. That's fun. And like I said, I could do those things for hours. I leave work energized and I know it's where I want to go, but it doesn't mean I have to do it now. But it's very important that I know that that's the higher calling. That's the plan, right? When you do that analysis that we talked about, when you're making that decision, where do you want to be moving towards? It's not the immediate answer, but it's direction, it's vision, right? And as CEO, you have to think about demand, financial readiness, associate development, leadership capacity, all these things. And me, if I were to make the move right now and just completely step out of patient care, that's stupid as well. Because we're not there yet, but we're moving towards it. I got to put the pieces in place. I have to let my identity, mentally get there. If I were just to leave right now, I'd create organizational chaos, right? But I know where I want to go. I have to see the road bumps, the speed bumps, the obstacles along the way, and start putting the pieces in place now so it can happen, right? That's how you make a decision as a CEO, not as the owner that's just going to say status quo. You got to be able to make that distinction. And the thing that is hard when you're running a business is that you will never have 100% certainty. Hiring, stepping back from clinic, adding a location, promoting a manager, adding the dry eye clinic, changing how you've done optical for the past decade because you know something's not as good as it could be. You have a good thing that you do. Hey, we have really good patient connection, but we're not selling enough of these frames. We're not doing this. Raising your prices, a bigger factor, right? These things are scary, but it's our job, it's our responsibility to make the best decision with the information we have at the time and have the confidence to see it through. Because once you make the decision, you can test it. You don't need all the answers, but you need to have the courage to make the decision and see if it works. Okay? You can always pivot, but if you don't make the change, you're never going to get to where you want to go. You're going to be stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again. And too many doctors I talk to want something more. They see it, they talk to people that are doing it, but they won't make the change because one little thing is holding them back. When the past, week, year is telling you that you need to do something different. So I want you guys, as listeners, thinking about your practices, to take a step back and think about something that you're avoiding. We all have that decision. And ask yourself, are you considering the whole picture? Am I protecting the one part that I really enjoy and losing out in the big picture of things? Like there's one little aspect, like you sell, you're really good at selling your supplies of daily contacts, right? But that's stopping you from adding a weekly or a monthly option because times are hard, prices are hitting your patients' pocketbooks, and they're looking for other options. And you're like, no, I'm always going to sell dailies because it's best for the patient. I believe in it. And your contact lens sales are plunging. What's not happening in your business because you're holding on to a certain task? To get to where you want to go, what do you have to become? How does your identity have to shift? What decision, what evidence you need to make that decision more clear? Remember, as the CEO of your practice, you got to see the whole board. Not because every piece matters equally, but no big decision can be made when you're just looking at one individual piece at a time. Look at everything in its entirety. And that's the hard part about being the CEO and going from owner mentality to running a company, a business, an organization. That's what I have. We'll have more for you next week. Where, oh where has the time gone? We are to the closing thought of the episode, and I'll leave you with this. The hardest battle is between your old habits and your new standards. You gotta always remember that. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. The way things have always been done. To do something you've never done, you gotta make decisions and do things you've never done before, right? You can't keep doing the old same thing. And it feels comfortable. There's aspects that are good. You got to this point, you got this far because of that way. But to get to that next level, to grow and expand, gotta make some decisions here. And I'm telling you right now, you'll be better for it. You just gotta be smart enough to know when to pivot and know when you haven't given it enough time. Next episode, we're going to talk about seeing things through, but this episode was based on making that decision. The factors that are holding us back, the things that we can do to be better owners, better CEOs of our practice. All right, that's what we got. Dr. Lily out.